coping with loss and learning to move on. That is at the heart of what is a slice of life piece. Centres on a 20-something-year-old called Julie, played by Honor Swinton Byrne. Does that name mean anything to either of you as an actress? No?
Tilda Swinton?
Yes, it's Tilda Swinton's daughter.
Wow.
And she's really good. I mean, I'm not surprised because I think Tilda Swinton's extraordinary, but yeah, really something. So it centres on this sort of 20-something-year-old called Julie who's at film school. So again, it's a movie from that point of view that we should see because it's about the industry that we're talking about. Anyway, she had a tumultuous relationship with her less than honest junkie boyfriend who died. Okay, so there we go. By the way, I've just got a note saying, can you let me back in? This is like banging on the back door. Peter Krausz saying that he's having internet problems. So, Dave, you might try again if you wouldn't mind. Anyway, she had a tumultuous relationship with this boyfriend. She clearly loved him and misses his strong presence. Try she does, part of the joy in her life is now missing. She shares time with her parents, especially her mother, Rosalind, played, Jackie, by Tilda Swinton. Okay? So, you know, this is life imitating art, or art imitating life, as it were. And she also visits his parents, but the void remains. Julie, who's this Honor Swinton Byrne's character, sees a therapist in an endeavour to make sense of what she's feeling. She's also in the throes of putting together her graduation film, but her mind seems scattered. Her instructors fail to endorse her script. So there you go, she's making this grad film, but no, instructors say it's not good enough and tell her if she wants to move ahead with this particular script, it'll have to be self-financed. And when it comes to the shoot, she finds it hard to translate to the actors and the cinematographer exactly what it is she wants. So it's kind of all cerebral, it's in her mind. In reality, she's telling her story and the last moments of her boyfriend's life. The writer and director is Joanna Hogg, and this continues the story she began in The Souvenir in 2019. And as I say again, you do not have to have seen the original to appreciate what's on offer here. If you do, though, I'd say you'd be better off to have seen the first instalment recently, because the passage of time, I think, dulls the memory. Although, Peter, are you back with us at the moment?
I am. I'm back. I'm having internet issues.
You are. Well, to be honest, you're more remote, not in distance necessarily, but usually when we do this online, for some reason we've got lots of interference. I'm not sure what's going on. Your walls seem to be very thin, shall we say. Anyway,
Correct.
That's not about you. That's about your residents. So, what do you think? Do you need? Because Dave was saying that he doesn't like to see a part 2 without seeing a part 1. Do you think you can watch this film like I do without having seen the first part?
I think you can. You can still get into the story quite well, but I agree that it is the two films stand together because it's a continuation of Joanna Hogg's own story when she was in film school in the 80s. And I found that so interesting, the way she develops her understanding of self, her relationship with men in particular, and also being a filmmaker and trying to dovetail those two, especially with the way the film Souvenir Part II leads into two potential films that she is making, the real and the fantasy elements as well. So I think there's a lot to like and admire about this film, and I was quite impressed by it. And I also wanted to comment on Richard Ayoade, whose deadpan character, a continuation from Part 1, is just so amusing and so hilarious.
You better tell us who he plays. You better sort of give us a little bit more insight into that. What sort of character?
He's a fellow film student. He sort of had a friendship with Honor Swinton Byrne as the filmmaker, and he was there to observe and comment on the relationship that she was having with this destructive sort of boyfriend, so to speak. And he's very deadpan about it, and I thought that was a lovely contrast.
Yeah, I mean, the Souvenir Part 2 is decidedly art house in style. It takes quite some time to piece together exactly what's happening, especially if you haven't seen the first part. Pieces of the puzzle gradually come together as we get inside the mindset of the protagonist, Julie. She's trying to forge a way forward that's meaningful to her. And I thought Swinton Burns' performance was terrific. She's quite natural. She channels confusion, yearning, and search for purpose. Tilda Swinton's character comes across as caring and non-judgmental. A mainstay in the picture is Julie's film school colleagues. You've already referenced one of them. And the movie spends time on the process of constructing a film, especially shot selection. So this is where it's sort of an insider's view. I plaudits on the production design by Stefan Collonge, which showed a decidedly creative bent as far as I'm concerned. Again, a film of only limited appeal, but I did appreciate the offering. I found it insightful. So, Peter, a score out of 10 for the Souvenir Part II.
Sure. I give this the same score that I also gave Bergman Island before the internet decided to cut me off, 8 out of 10.
Yes, and I'm going to give the Souvenir Part II also an 8 out of 10. So there you go. Now,